Hey everyone, what's going on? Jeff here from Films at Home, and today we're going to be diving into the world of Dune on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray. So I'm going to be checking out this title. We're going to talk about the visuals, the audio, special features, and packaging, and ultimately whether or not you should be grabbing this one on 4K for your collection. Now, if you're interested in 4K, Blu-ray, DVD, movie collecting, home theater, any of that stuff, please consider subscribing to the channel. I'd really appreciate it, and have your notifications on so you never miss a video. We're well on our way to 100,000 subscribers this year, which is the goal for 2022, and I can use your help, so I do really appreciate it. So Dune was released on 4K on January 11th, making it one of the first 4K releases of the year, and this movie was released in 2021 as both an HBO Max and theatrical and IMAX experience. So you had a couple different options on how to watch this, but from what I heard, seeing this in IMAX and in the movie theaters was really the way to go. So I didn't catch it either way, HBO Max or IMAX, so this was my first watch at home here from this 4K disc. Now, Dune was shot digitally, according to IMDb, but it does have a true 4K digital intermediate, and it's an amazing looking 4K disc. The detail on this is incredible. It's highly, highly detailed, and I expect nothing less from the team behind it. Denis Villeneuve is one of my favorite directors, and now that I finally learned how to say his name the correct way, I really do appreciate his work, and the cinematographers on this were excellent. Villeneuve's vision and his kind of creative mind and the way that he builds worlds and builds these amazing shots, it all translates really well to film and to IMAX type experiences, theatrical experiences, and then ultimately great 4K discs. So I do love the way that this looks. 4K resolution, it's as sharp as you're going to see on any movie on this format. Now, the biggest differentiator between this and a standard Blu-ray release is definitely going to be the HDR. The standard Blu-ray release in 1080p still looks fantastic. It looks incredible. The 4K does, take you to the next level with detail, but your average person, maybe they couldn't see the difference between the two if they weren't really looking. And that's typical with movies that are shot digitally, have 4K transfers. That is fairly typical for newer movies. They look really good on Blu-ray, they look really good on 4K. But the thing here is that with this true 4K digital intermediate and the HDR and Dolby Vision, that's where it does take the next step. So detail's great, but your HDR is the biggest differentiator, and it really does elevate the way that this movie looks and feels. You sort of get what I think is probably the preferred vision and the preferred color grading of this movie when you go to HDR. The Blu-ray isn't necessarily lacking, but it's definitely missing some of the highlights. It's definitely missing some of the high and low end contrast that you see on 4K with HDR. Black levels aren't as good. Overall, the HDR just really elevates this to the next level and makes the colors pop. And brightness is incredible too. The white levels, black levels, both ends of those extreme, really, really, really well done by Warner Brothers, and of course the filmmakers originally and whoever worked on this transfer. So it's a great 4K visual and is easily already a contender for one of the best discs of 2022, and should be a reference quality visual for you at home. Now, speaking of reference quality, you could say the same about the Dolby Atmos track, which is included here, because it is a hefty one. There's a lot of bass, there's a lot of motion around the soundscape. It's a really, really intense mix at sometimes, more subtle and kind of quiet at others, but the moments where it should stand out, it really does. It's very well balanced. There was no issue with needing volume adjustments. I didn't have any issue with hearing the dialogue. It's an excellent Dolby Atmos track, and it does stand up to how good the visuals are, and that's always nice. You don't want to see visuals great and audio lacking, or audio great, visuals lacking. In this case, Warner Brothers has hit it out of the park and really hit a home run here on both of them, and that makes it an absolute reference disc AV wise for anybody, and probably will make this movie and this disc end up in a top 10 list for the year, and possibly, maybe even the best of the year. Lots to still come, but this is a very strong contender for one of the best discs of the year and one of the best discs of the format, period. So I would highly, highly recommend grabbing 4K if you can. I think that's the best experience that you're going to have at home, and it's much, much better than the HBO Max stream. The only thing that would beat this is most likely that theatrical and IMAX experience. Now, the one con when it comes to this disc, there's lots of pros and it looks incredible, but the one con and the one thing that bugs me is that it does not have the IMAX aspect ratios on this. And I really, really wish that we would see that more often, because I love when movies, I personally like this, when they swap aspect ratios and give you that wider scope. The aspect ratio of this, the standard 239:1, that looks good. It's a great widescreen image. I mean, it really captures the movie, but those IMAX sequences just look so good on your TV sometimes. And I've heard that this is possibly issues with IMAX not wanting to license their technology out to discs, and could be filmmaker choice, how they want to present it on home video. They don't want the switching aspect ratios. You know, there's lots of reasons why, but it is something to note. No IMAX scenes here. And so if you saw it in IMAX, that's a real treat, because you're not going to get anything close to that at home. But this is definitely the best home viewing experience now, far superior than an HBO Max stream. So if that's the way you watched it, I recommend watching it again with 4K. So now packaging is pretty standard here. You get your typical Hollywood, let's put everybody's face on the cover type deal. On the inside, same stuff. And then opening this up, you got your two discs, nothing really crazy, 4K and Blu-ray, plus that digital copy, which will come with it. So this is a 4K Blu-ray combo pack, but it doesn't have the 3D Blu-ray. If you still collect 3D Blu-ray and you want to check that out, Dune is one of the few releases that is actually still getting 3D Blu-ray in today's day and age, and those are available, so that's an option as well. It would have been nice to maybe see them do it all in one package. I've seen that before with a movie like Passengers, but unfortunately they didn't here. But that probably won't affect most 4K collectors. So now they actually do have a decent amount of special features considering it's a new release. A lot of stuff these days is stripped down. You might get a couple features, but there's actually an hour of bonus features, or over an hour of bonus features. Has a featurette on the royal houses. It has inside Dune, some view into the training room, building the ancient future, designing the sandworm, which is a really, really cool visual element of this movie. Wardrobe from Another World, which talks about costume design, a new soundscape, which is really interesting if you're interested in audio, and then a couple of more short features. So it does have a pretty decent stack of special features, which is nice to see because, you know, as I said, a lot of stuff is stripped down. You usually see these on older movies, and sometimes in the newer ones they don't take the time and effort, but here they did. So that's that's kind of a nice bonus. So overall, I would highly recommend you grabbing this on 4K, especially if you've only seen that HBO Max stream. And this is, in my opinion, the best version of this story that's been told. I know there's a lot of nostalgia for the 80s Dune. There is a lot of nostalgia for like the 2000s. I think it was like a TV series. I see people online, I see them talk about it. There's nostalgia there. But to me, this is the most striking and best put together film. And modern technology just allows Dune to really excel here and really tell the story in a way that doesn't come off as cheesy or corny with bad special effects. So I loved this. It has a great cast. It has excellent music, an excellent score, amazing visuals throughout, some really stunning images, and I think you'll really enjoy it on your big screen at home. And seriously, if you saw it on HBO Max, this is the next level. Streaming and compression and the way that they deliver HDR and all of that, it's just not near what a physical disc can do. And this is a huge reason to buy Dune on 4K. Even if you think you've seen it all, you really haven't. So I'll leave a link down in the description where you can pick up Dune if you haven't already. You grab the 4K release. That's my preferred option. So I'll leave that link to Amazon. And if you purchase through there, that helps support my channel. So I do appreciate that very much. But that's about it for the review. So thank you for watching. Make sure you check out all the other links down in my description for ways you can support my channel, and follow me on social media, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, All the links are in the description, and that's a great way to get in touch with me. Sometimes I do giveaways over there on social media. There's some TikTok content, short form stuff you may not see on YouTube. It's a cool way to just get in touch and see what's going on in my life and with the collection outside of YouTube, so I love connecting with you guys there. But other than that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe and healthy out there, and I will talk to you all soon.